What's going on, my people? Welcome back to Israel Movie Reviews, aka IMR. And today we're going to be discussing a film back from 2010, one of my favorite films to rewatch over and over again, called The Fighter, starring Mark Wahlberg, Amy Adams, Christian Bale, Melissa Leo. The list goes on. This movie was star-studded. And if you didn't know, I'm a big boxing fan, so this is not only a boxing movie, but it's a drama. It could be a comedy too, even though it doesn't have that many comedic aspects, but certain things that happen in the film make you laugh, coincidentally. And this is the story of Micky Ward, a boxer who was born in Boston, who came up the ranks, with a struggle, definitely with something on his shoulder. And we're gonna start off right away. This is the story of Micky Ward, who lived a real life Rocky story. In a lighter class. Ward, like the screen Rocky Balboa, was headed for the career of a lifetime, stepping stone into boxing. And he turned things around in a major way and eventually redeemed himself, especially with what happened between him and his family, which he had a mother who managed him, and he had a brother who was addicted to drugs, who had a title shot back in the day, but lost it due to drugs. And he ended up turning into a petty life of crime. And that's just a little summary of the story, but I'm going to go and start off with Mark Wahlberg. He turns in the performance of a lifetime as Micky Ward, a boxer who can't seem to fight his way to the top, which could be the fault of his manager, his mother, played by Melissa Leo, and his crackhead brother, played by Christian Bale, who did a marvelous job. Micky is constantly doing what's best for those around him instead of doing what's best for him at the end of the day. But this starts to change when he meets a beautiful woman. And this woman who enters his life is none other than Amy Adams in the film. And boxing films have been around since the 1890s, early 90s, when the likes of Edison would film entire fights back in the day, if you didn't know, and then sell them to the public round by round. You know, I'm a boxing historian, so there's a lot that I packed into this film with the knowledge that I had. It was awesome. And since the early days, you've had a wide range of these kind of movies. You had Raging Bull, Champion, The Hurricane. But this movie, this kind of sub-genre, sometimes it's hard to watch because they're so cliche, right? You could always tell the ending, but not in this film. This film takes you for a whole different spin. And, you know, betting on a boxer sometimes could go both ways. You could either get fucked or you could succeed and go ahead and win, right? But the bets on how this story is going to play out, trust me, you'll be in for a surprise. I think unlike the other sports films, boxing lets you root for people when you normally wouldn't care about it, right? But I've read different kind of reviews of different boxing matches that, you know, sometimes take you out the loop. You know this person might win, you know the other person's an underdog, and sometimes you don't know who to go for. This person might be 20-0, this person might be 45-5. Just because they got more wins, maybe more knockouts, doesn't mean anything. You never know where that person came from. And you don't know where Micky Ward comes from. He comes from a rough background in Boston. And back in the day, they used to make fun of him, you know, saying how Micky Ward had no personality. And I think this was true due to the personality in the film. Mark Wahlberg definitely elevated his acting chops in this. And he was always presentable and entertaining. But this movie, he definitely gets really serious into his role. And he finds himself in trouble all the time. There's no question this film offers up some of the best acting, like I mentioned, of pretty much that year in 2010. I remember it vividly because, you know, it's the year that I ended up with my wife. And what I liked most was there's so many powerful moments. There certainly isn't the greatest movie, boxing movie you're ever going to see, but Mark Wahlberg has always been capable of strong performances when the material was right, and this one here is, without question, a masterpiece. Wahlberg Wahlberg's version of Micky Ward doesn't get a very flashy part. You know, he really isn't given the best dialogue in the film. Granted, because Micky Ward hardly spoke. He was very soft-spoken. He was about that life when it came to the ring, but not outside the ring. Oftentimes, he's in the background, you know, watching all the chaos of the family in front of him, contemplating what he should do, sometimes going against his own emotion. I think this was maybe the flashiest, without being flashiest, role that Mark Wahlberg ever got. You definitely see his character flurry. But now we get into Christian Bale. Come on, we've seen crackheads before, but not once did you hear or see an actor take the role so serious like Bale, who ended up losing dramatic weight to play this character. Bale is so in character that you can help but feel as if you're watching a real documentary of a troubled person on drugs. And Melissa Leo playing the mom, she turns in a great performance as well. After her work at Frozen River, and Amy Adams jumps in this movie and is impressive once again, like she always is. Gives a great performance as well. Turning out to be one of the best cast chemistry duo triples, quadruples, because everybody has so much chemistry with each other. Especially there's a scene in the movie where Amy Adams meets Micky's sisters and she puts them straight. It's ridiculous. It's so hilarious. And, you know, Jack McGee is also worth mentioning here. During the fights, he tries to be too stylish, but there's no denying that the power of this film is in the story. It's in the acting. One of the most heartbreaking and brutally raw moments in recent history comes during a scene where HBO is showing a documentary on Mickey's brother. And at that time, Mickey's brother's actually in jail. And seeing how this impacts everybody in the family was certainly the most powerful moment I've ever saw on film. This is not just a pretty good biopic, it's an awesome biopic. It's character-led, the storytelling envelops you in a detailed way, and it's kind of documentary looking. You definitely have to go see this just for the performance alone. There's so much to say about this film, but I'm gonna stop there and cut that review right there because you need to go see it. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. Till the next time, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. If you want to subscribe and see more content from me, you know what to do. Peace.